Welcome back to the Social Source, guys. This is episode 47. We are almost at episode 50. And as we lead up to episode 50, I thought about doing a series. So if you remember, a couple of episodes ago, I spoke about how I had set myself a big goal for this year, which was to hit a $50,000 month. And I said I would break it down for you. Like, how do I think about it? And how am I structuring the business to actually hit that goal? So over the next 3 episodes, what I wanted to do was break it down into the steps and the practical actions that I'm taking behind the scenes to make this goal a reality. And part of this goal is obviously, yes, $50,000 would be nice, the money. But more than that, this is about who we become in the process when we set that goal that pushes us to the uncomfortable edge. Because if we're not uncomfortable, then we know that we're playing it small. And I don't know about you guys, but like I've been playing so small in my business. Like I used to call it, just this thing I do. If people ask me what I do, yeah, I just have a little small business. I'm a solopreneur. I played it down a lot. And I don't think we realize that when you made the decision to not go the usual way, which is the corporate 9 to 5, that's a huge decision. That means that you are a leader naturally. You've made this decision to lead a new path, to pioneer a new way. You saw something in your industry that you wanted to change. And you were like, hell, I'm going for that. That makes you like a rebel. That makes you an innovator, a maverick, a pioneer. And the more and more people that I work with are talking about, how do I do business more consciously? How do I create a business that doesn't just make money for me, but actually benefits my community or gives back to the environment in some way? And this is something that I spoke about like in an Instagram post the other day, which was the rise of the conscious CEO, because it's coming up in all my conversations. Like, how do I do this with soul? How do I sell with integrity? And you starting your business was your way of looking around the world and seeing the problems in the world and seeing like, how can I contribute? What can I offer? And show like a better way forward. So it is like a freaking big deal starting a business, and we shouldn't play small or play it down and just be okay with it being okay. How do we go bigger? How do we make more of an impact? And that's what this $50,000 represents to me. It's this idea of, I know deep down that I'm capable of more. I know that I am here for more, that I deserve more, that I'm worthy of more, and I'm ready. And it feels uncomfortable. And it feels like I'm impatient. I'm a little bit anxious around it. And it feels like, oh, I just wanted to be here already. But this is a sign of like growth, of a breakthrough, of the next big thing, the next big chapter, era. So I wanted to talk about how I'm approaching it from like, first of all, like an energy and mindset thinking around it. But then we're going to get into like just the practical structure. And I know it doesn't sound so sexy. I know structuring your business does not sound very sexy. But I promise you, this gives you stability in your business, in your life. This gives you freedom to be more creative, to have more freedom to do the things you actually want in your life. Structure can be sexy. Maybe I should call this episode Structure Can Be Sexy. It might be the episode title. Let's see. So we're going to talk about building business systems. Because here's the other thing, like, and I know I am all in on manifestation, totally 100%, like frequency matching, energy vibration. I'm all in on that. But we can manifest and visualize and meditate on $1 million, right? But if we don't actually have doors open, like pathways for money to flow in, we don't have the offers that are going to add up to $1 million, then we're not open. We're literally not open for that money to be received. Because I believe 100% you can get that $1 million, but we have to do like our part on the other side of that. And that part is taking the aligned action to create the offers, to set the pricing, and to back that with our energy. And then we can start to, call that in. And when you start to see this like play out, it's crazy. I was thinking about like my ideal client the other day, and I swear to God, like a few minutes later, I got a DM on Instagram and I had to show my husband because I was like, holy shit. Like literally, if I could visualize one person, it was this person. What? Like it blew my mind. But I totally believe in like visualization, manifestation, but we need to have actual systems that give us the ability to scale. Because when I first started, I was purely trading my time in exchange for money. And we only have so much time, we only have so much energy. So we are automatically limiting ourselves if we're selling our time in exchange for money. That's what I want to talk about today, is how do you start to really think about yourself as a business and as a product? Okay, so we have a lot to cover. If you can, if you're not driving and you're not walking, then grab a notebook and a pen because you're going to want to write some of this down. Otherwise, come back to this episode later. No stress. But yeah, like write some stuff down or just use your good old imagination. Okay. So let's get into it. Number 1, step into your CEO mode. What do I mean by this? This is actually something that a therapist once told me, because I was talking to my therapist so much about work that she almost became like a business coach. And, she would point out things that she'd be like, that's not normal. Or she'd be like, so what is your contract around that? What terms do you have to protect yourself around that? What hours do you choose to work? Whereas I, at the time, was just like this open book. Like, you want to work with me? Cool. Let's work on the weekends. I'll work on my holidays. I had no boundaries. I had no contracts and no terms. And like, I know for a lot of us, we started our business with like very personal intentions. But if we want our businesses to scale, we also have to remember that like our business is commerce. It's an exchange of money for a service that we want to deliver. And we want to deliver to the best of our ability, the best quality, consistently, right? That's what a brand does. That's why people go to McDonald's when they're on vacation, or to Starbucks, or they trust Nike shoes, because they trust that that brand delivers consistently the same experience. We need to treat ourselves and our businesses the same. And in order to be consistent, we need structure, because there's some days where we're going to wake up, feeling like a freaking boss, feeling like a CEO, feeling like we got this. But then there's going to be those days where we wake up and we feel like, crawling back into bed. We don't feel like a boss. We're like questioning everything, self-doubt, all of that good stuff. But our business still needs to be able to run. Like, Nike can't shut down because the CEO is having a bad day. He needs to, like, the business just needs to be running. And that's what we want. So we need to step into our own CEO mode. Okay. So here's the one tip that she told me. And this is a tip that I use pretty much every single day. It's going to sound weird, but don't mock it until you try it. Okay. Like literally try it for the next 7 days and tell me that it doesn't help. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you sitting at a table, okay, with yourself, and yourself is the person in your business who, executes, gets things done. And you're sitting across from yourself, who is the CEO of your business. And now I want you to think about yourself in the third person. Okay. So you are having a conversation with your CEO self. If you imagine that you wear many hats in business, imagine you're having a conversation across the table, and on the other side is you wearing the CEO hat, taking on the CEO role. Your job is to make sure this business continues into the long term, that it continues to grow, that it continues to scale, it hits its sales targets. You are the CEO of your business, and you're talking to yourself, and you're going to use your third name, your third person. You speak to yourself with your name, speak to yourself in the third person. Okay, so this is what it could look like. Haley, we said we were going to launch that thing this month. Where are we on that? Okay, why is it not on schedule? What did you prioritize instead of this? What is actually going to get us by the end of the month more business or more sales? You're having this back and forth conversation with yourself. And as a CEO, you're holding yourself accountable to something that you said you would do. You're helping yourself prioritize your time, prioritize the kind of projects you should be working on. And you're pushing yourself to go a little bit further. Like, okay, you want to go bigger? What are we going to do about that? You're just playing on Instagram. You're only posting on Instagram. We need to think about YouTube. We need to think about going on a podcast. We need to think about PR, media. How do we go bigger? It's like it gives you this zoomed out perspective so that you're not stuck in loops in your head and being like, who am I to do this? Who am I to say this? No, you're like, your CEO is the boss. They're taking big decisions. And they know that playing small isn't serving you or isn't serving the business and isn't serving your customers and clients. So this exercise, you can try, like maybe you have a weekly meeting with your CEO, or you have a daily morning session, like every morning. Okay, Haley, what are we doing today? Let's get it done. And then, be a good boss to yourself. Be like, okay, if you get this one thing done today, we're going out for dinner. We're going out to celebrate. We're going to meet that friend. We're going out for like date with the husband. We're going out to freaking celebrate because you did that one thing. So you're being a good CEO, a cool boss, the dream boss that you always wanted to work for, who's there to push you, but is also there to be like, hey, let's celebrate. Frickin' hell, you did a good job today. Okay, number 2, this is very important. This section is called productize yourself. Okay, if we want to go from trading our hours to scaling and like making money while you sleep, you've heard people say that before, making money while you're on holiday, we need to create products that we can sell. And a product can come in the form of many different things. If you are a service-based business owner, one of the best ways to think about this is to think about your service process or your method or your unique formula that you use in your business. And I want you to look at that. Like maybe if you look at the steps that you would take a client through when you're coaching them, or you're a branding agency, and this is the steps that you take through to find a brand's positioning. How do you create your unique formula around it? And then you're going to give it a name. You're going to name it, because now you're turning this into like a branded product, this methodology. You can trademark it. A lot of people trademark their formulas, their methods. And this is taking your knowledge based on you've implemented this, you've tried this, you've practiced this with many different clients. And now you're able to say, hey, I've got results for this method. I know that it works. And now I'm going to turn it into a product. So for example, for me, when I was figuring out, I was looking back in hindsight, like, how did I like get here to a place where I'm creating what I want? I'm creating whenever I want. I have a business that I truly love. I'm working with the clients that I like to love. Like, how did I get here? Because I know as hell, like I didn't start here. I started like really lost and confused in my business, feeling really disconnected. So if I look back, what changed? And sometimes, like it's these processes that you go through, but when you start to write them down on a piece of paper, and I was just journaling it out, and then I looked at it and I was like, like this I can, turn into a process or a method that I can teach somebody else how to do the same. And that is how I created the online program called Align. I turned it into 5 steps. And these 5 steps, you need 1 week for each step. So it's a 5-week program. So something that took me like 2 years to figure out, going up, down, backwards, forwards with it, trying things that didn't work, trying things that worked. I can now take you, instead of going on your own journey for 2 years, making the mistakes and spending the money that I did, you can now do it within the period of 5 weeks. So now I'm taking something that I know worked for me and I'm turning it into a product that I can teach you how to use. And once I've created this product, I can then sell it unlimited amount of times. So, I've sold it 30, 40 times now already. I can sell it again another 30, 40 times, and another 30, 40 times, 50, 100 times. Another product that you can create is a masterclass or a training. This would be something that's a little bit shorter in timeline. So I did it for free, but it was called Worth, and it was about like a money mindset shift. So it's usually very much focused on one very powerful transformation, one very powerful shift. It could be like a copywriting masterclass, something where you teach a specific skill that people walk away knowing, how to do this now. You can create that. Maybe it's a Zoom call, and then you can turn that video into something that you sell multiple times again and again and again. A third product that you could create for an online business is a mastermind. There is so much power in a mastermind. Like I've been in them and now I've created one myself. And this is like so powerful when a group of people come together and they're all motivated and committed to like hitting a certain goal within a certain period of time. So what a mastermind does is it helps you get accountability, but it also helps you really fast track. So sometimes when people sign up for online courses, they take their time. They're like, yeah, I'll do that next week, and they keep putting it off. But when you're in the environment of a masterclass, you are up close and personal. And you're like, it's quite vulnerable because you say out loud what you want. And then this group is there to hold the energy, hold the space, support you, give you advice. You're sharing and learning from each other. And you are constantly like checking in with each other. So it's this like force of energy that pushes you forward so that you get where you want to go much faster in a shorter amount of time. So this is something that is very personalized and very customized to the people within the group. Whereas an online course is created and then people will sign up for that and do it in their own time, like DIY it. This is very personal, very customized. And, I spend a lot of time in, speaking to the women inside the group. I deal very specifically with their questions in the calls. So the price of this will go up because it is a lot more time and energy from my part. And the fourth product is something that I'm just about to launch. Like I've been preparing this, it feels like for years, which is actually a crazy story because I was thinking about it and almost like saying it out loud, like, should I launch a membership? Is this something that I should do? Or should I continue to do like many different online programs? Or should I do, another mini mind or a mastermind? And then we had painters over, like we painted all the walls in the apartment. So the house was a disaster last week. It was like upside down. And while we were like moving things around, I had this one journal from 3 years ago that like fell out of the shoe cupboard. I don't even know what I was doing there, but I just was flipping through the pages and I landed on a page, and it literally was something that I wrote 3 years ago that said the pros of doing a membership. And I mapped it all out. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, I'm taking this as a sign, because this is just, it was freaking weird. Like the timing of it was crazy. Like this helps serve my mission so well, because today marketing and branding is not the same. Like it's changed. You can't just do a branding exercise and develop like this PDF document that's your brand book. Brands today, like we are seeing 6-7-figure brands being built on TikTok, on Instagram Reels within like the matter of a year. I'm seeing the craziest success stories, and it's done in the most non-traditional way. In some cases, it's done in what I would call like an anti-marketing way. It's about this person showing up and sharing their story, and consistently showing up and sharing their story, and building businesses and brands off the back of that. So in whatever way you want to build your business today or build your brand today, first of all, content needs to be your number one priority. Consistency is critical. And humanizing your brand, bringing out the personality, knowing how your brand actually lives and breathes on the different social media platforms. And then social media is always changing. So you got to be able to adapt to those tactics, but also know your core fundamentals, like know who your brand is, know what your values are, know what your brand positioning is. But then you've got to bring that to life consistently. So again, we need those systems in place to make sure that we're building this consistent experience with our brand. And that's why a membership is really going to help you. Like inside this membership, we're going to have at least 4 events every month. And you don't have to attend them live. They all will be recorded. But basically at the beginning of every month, we're going to do something called content mapping. So in content mapping, we're going to map out and reverse engineer your content based on where you want to be at the end of the month, but also like towards your big goal at the end of the year. So we're going to get very strategic around what are you going to be posting this month, and like literally plan it out. And I want to do it in a way that's going to be intuitive and sustainable for you. Then we're going to have guest speakers. We're going to have fireside chat with women who've built really big, successful brands online. We're going to have hot seat coaching and live Q&A. So if you have a specific problem that you're facing that month, a specific question, then I will coach you through it in the group setting so everybody can benefit. I'll answer like all the questions. There'll also be a Facebook community. I know Facebook community, but Facebook groups are amazing because they are private. I'm not big on posting on Facebook, but I love a group because it is really like a cool community environment. Then we're also going to have marketing trainings, like very specific marketing trainings. So it might be like paid ads on Instagram one day. It might be how to do Canva. It might be how to use ChatGPT for your content, how to use Notion AI, like all of these, like how to create multiple videos from one, very like specific marketing trainings, brand messaging, copywriting. I'm going to get specialists in who are going to come in and teach a specific course every month. All of this content is going to be put together, and then as long as you're a member, you have access to it. And number 5 is I do one-on-one coaching, but I think about it again from a product lens. So instead of just like selling my hours and being like, here we go, buy some hours, I go back to like an end goal. So one of my products is your roadmap to $10,000 months. Then I have a process and a method that I'm going to walk you through in these coaching sessions. Or, if you want to build a brand messaging, that's going to be a coaching package that you can buy. So rather than, again, selling hours with no real goal, I set the goal and I create a product name for it. I create a methodology for it. I put a price tag to that, and then I sell it. So we're constantly thinking about productizing our offers and our time. Almost like this is like the Amazon way of thinking. If you think about it, people are so used to buying things online as a product, and they're seeing, okay, if I buy this, this is what I get. This is the price that I get it for. This is when I get it. These are the reviews of this product. This is like we're in this Amazon era of thinking, and you can turn your services into these offerings. Now, how do you know what you should be offering, right? This is where I want you to bring out a big piece of paper in your notebook. Get just like a blank piece of paper. And at the top of this piece of paper, you're going to write your name and then the word blueprint. So mine would be Haley's Blueprint. Underneath that, I'm going to write my mission statement. Your mission statement is, the mission that you are on in this world. Who are you here to serve? How are you uniquely helping them solve their problem? And how do you want them to feel? That's essentially your mission statement. So I want to help female founders feel good about sharing themselves with the world. I want to help them go bigger. So this mission statement then becomes the basis and the foundation for the offers that I put out into the world and for the content that I put out into the world. It's all adding up to the bigger mission. So it's not just randomly posting or thinking like, oh, what should I offer today? No, I'm going back to my why. So if I want to make you feel good about sharing yourself with the world, I could create, and this is something that I'm planning to create, which is an energy shifting product. It's going to be like low cost, but high impact. And it's basically like an EFT session, which is this emotional freedom-based technique. It's an energy shifting method that I'm going to create and design specifically for you to help you show up and feel good about showing up. That's one offering that I could do. Then I have my Align program, which is helping to structure your business and your content. And then I have the mastermind, and now I'm going to build the membership. Okay, so now you have your blueprint. You're looking at your name at the top, and you're seeing yourself as the business, as the brand. You're seeing what mission you're on and how you can bring this mission to life through your different offerings. And you can just brainstorm out a whole bunch of different offers. And then you can start through the process of elimination to decide which ones you're going to focus on. You might just need to focus on one at the moment, and then you can build out other offerings. Okay, and this brings us to the final point, which is point number 3, creating your profitable sales plan. This is where you're going to need to bring out Excel or your Google Sheets. And in one column, I want you to write down the name, the branded name, the product name of your offers. Okay, in that one column. In the second column, you're going to say price. What is the price of an individual offer? Working in the mastermind is currently $888. Working one-on-one is $947. Working in the membership, that is going to be around only $99. So now I've got my pricing. In the next column, I'm going to write quantity. And this is where you get to play around and where things get really fun. In quantity, I'm going to think about, for example, how much time and energy I have for each. So for example, for one-on-ones, those are going to be limited. So those are going to be, only a few, maybe 4 a month. My membership is unlimited. So I'm going to put 150 members, right? That's a target. Now I'm going to do in the next column, the total. And I'm going to play around with these numbers until I get to a total of $50,000 months. Now I have a plan. Now I can look at this and go, okay, again, CEO mode. Okay, Haley, we need to sell 150 memberships in order to get to this target, right? At least 150. This could go more. 150. How are we going to do that? So we need this launch plan. Maybe we need to run some ads. And I start to reverse engineer my content, my offerings, how I'm going to promote this, how big I'm going to go with the launch based on my monthly revenue goal. And now I have a structure. I have the offers. If you land on my Instagram profile and you click the link in my bio, you can buy one of these offers, these products, and I can be sleeping and wake up to one of these offers being bought, right? If the doors are open and, if I've put that out there, I can wake up and that's offer's been bought. And if if somebody buys the Align course, they can do it in their own time. So, there's an automated system of emails that goes out that I don't need to think about. Like that's running on automation in the background. That's how, if you've heard about, people building freedom-based businesses, this is the foundation to building a freedom-based business that you can travel around Europe, you can go to Bali, and you can start to sell products rather than simply your time. And this helps scale your impact, because if you want to help a lot of people, again, you're limited by time and your energy. But when you're able to create this methodology and say, here, this is able to help, like this helped me, this is able to help you, boom, you've just scaled your impact and the amount of people that you get to work with. So if you want to increase your sales in your business, there are literally 3 ways to do that. There are some business basics that just don't change. So number 1, you can increase the number of customers you have, right? You can think about, how do I increase my audience? Okay, I need to create more content. Maybe I need to go on a different channel. I need to go on YouTube, I need to start a podcast. I need to reach more people. So you need to get more customers, or you need to increase your pricing. Like, are you currently underpricing yourself? Where can you raise your prices? What would your CEO say? Number 3, you could create more offers. So I gave you some examples of offers that I have, but you could get creative with that. You could think about, like, are you launching, 4 masterclasses in a month? And then the same customers want to buy those masterclasses. So you don't need more customers, but you need the same ones getting value from more offers. So you can create more offers, higher prices, or get more customers in the door. Those are 3 ways that you can increase your sales. So set your big, scary edge number, your money goal. Look at your offers, connect it back to your mission, and reverse engineer your content so that you hit those sales goals. The biggest way that I sell, and I spoke about this before, is content. Every time I put out a post, somebody reaches out via DM, via WhatsApp, somebody gives me a call as a result of content. And more often than not, that person is like, hell yes, I want to work with you. Okay, that is it for episode 47. In our next episode, as part of this series, I'm going to be covering how to create content that actually converts, that turns followers into customers, and it doesn't matter what size audience that you have. I work with creators who have hundreds of thousands of followers and make 0 money. I've worked with business owners who have 5,000 followers and make a shit ton of money. Okay, so if you have a small following, this is still possible for you. You just have to look at your offers and say, how do I make this the most valuable offer? How do I really solve a big problem for my clients? Always go back to serving. The ones who serve get served. All right, guys, I'll catch you in episode 48.